What is up guys, it is Sim here and welcome back to the channel for another league racing video on F125, and today we are back in World for the Austrian Grand Prix, which is going to be a sprint weekend as well, the first of the season and the first of its kind in this season. So here's the format. You have a one-shot qualifying and a sprint race with a mandatory pit stop the normal way round, and then we're going to do a short qualifying and a 50% race in the reverse format. Now, I want to quickly give my thoughts on this. This format is absolute horse. But we're going to give it our best anyway, because a sprint weekend means there are more points on the table. So make sure you hit the like button, get subscribed for more content, and let's get straight into the one-shot qualifying around Austria, the normal way around. Turn number one, where I was very worried about invalidating turn one. We have managed to avoid that, albeit not with the best exit. You can see we're P11 after one corner, a tenth and a half down already on CSI Giron as we go in towards turn number three, losing the rear end a little bit mid-corner, which harms our exit out of three as we bow down towards turn number four, down to 13th position now as we head to turn four on the brakes, down to third, getting the apex, decent exit, but it's not exactly a great lap compared to everyone around us. We're down to 15th now as we have a huge load of understeer going into turn number 6 and through turn number 7. Again, you can see how much I'm having to turn the car there, which shows a lot of understeer in the setup, which is definitely something I have to work on next time I'm doing a race around this track. Through turn 9 and through turn 10, it's clean, but it's not impressive as we jump up to 16th as we cross the line, and it's a 3.8, I believe, which is nowhere near impressive at all, and that is P16. And my teammate for this race, which is Samir, aka Monza, he's in P6, so he's done a phenomenal job, and we are 10 places behind him.
Oh, mate, my lap was just so safe and shit.
And you can hear me say there, the lap felt really safe, and yeah, we paid the price for it there. We're 16th. It wasn't very good either. So we move on to the sprint race, the first two races in this video, and we're going to be starting on the mediums. I have no idea when people are going to pit, so we're going to find out as we get into this race. 5 red lights in front of us for the Austrian sprint in World, and we are underway as the lights go out, and it's a pretty decent getaway from ourselves. We're drawing alongside the Ferrari, going up the inside into turn number 1, and it looks like we get a little tap in the rear, and that allows the sister Ferrari to get through of Matthias. And you can see VNT Thomas, one of the 3 people to invalidate in qualifying, all the way down in 18th place. And he's on soft, so he's going to try and carve his way through the field. You can see he gets around us on the exit at turn number 3 as we just avoid Matthias rejoining the circuit. And we're down to P17. We're protecting the inside line going into turn number 4 so we can prevent the Ferraris from getting anywhere near us. And we do manage to get there. And meanwhile, up ahead, huge carnage in front of us through turn number 6. And there's cars flying off everywhere you look. And we managed to avoid it all. Our teammate got a terrible start of turn 1. He's facing the wrong way too. Absolute carnage to start this sprint race.
What's it? Yo, bro, why are you braking so early? Okay, I'm 11th.
And somehow, we have gained 5 places on the opening lap. Absolute carnage at the first lap at turn number 6, and we profit very handsomely, making up 5 places, and we're 1 place off the top 10, which is the points positions for this race. And you can see now we're going through the end of lap number 3, and you can see now people are pitting on lap number 3, which I found incredibly strange, but it turns out that these guys are pitting for hard compound tyres, and the allocation is actually important in a sprint, because I think I picked the wrong allocation. I think it was at a balance allocation, and that means I don't have any sets of hards to use, and therefore that's going to impact the strategy, because we're going to have to go longer on this set of mediums and probably pit for softs at some point as we pick up a warning. As you can see, cars are pitting as we go through the laps. We're up into P1 as Giron pits as well at the end of lap number 5 onto the set of hards.
Man, I'm gonna have to. I'm the only one who hasn't boxed. I'm gonna have to because I don't have any fucking hard tyres.
And there's the realization from myself, because I think Samir made the same mistake as well.
Yeah,
so we're going to have to drag this medium stint, and that's because we don't have a set of hards. Everyone's going on to the hard tyre, or another set of mediums. So, yeah, it's not ideal. So, we're going to box at the end of lap number 8 for a set of soft tyres. I was tempted to do one more lap, but I didn't want to lose too much time to the cars behind, because everyone's going to be lapping at least a second a lap quicker, because having fresh tyres on this game is much better than trying to extend a stint and lose a bunch of time if you don't have any pace. So, onto the softs, and a lot is going on around us.
Takes a heavy amount of curb and playing understeers. Oh, goodness me! 2 cars off. The rejoin there, and a collision involving even Eskrig. Simmerox once picking his way through the carnage, is now on soft tyres. He's chasing down some points this evening for QRT, the team in 5th place in the championship. What on earth is going on? We're going in the correct direction. We are still to run this race in reverse. We are still to see the corners in their blind form. Guys! This is phenomenal, and not in a good way.
And it looks like we've come out right to the heart of the carnage as we get pushed off the track there by the RB. I wasn't very happy with that, but we are P12. There is a car in front with 16 seconds of penalty, so points are on the cards.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man.
And don't fret, that penalty won't exactly harm us, because there's cars behind us that also have a 3-second penalty, including the RB. We're looking to pass at turn number 3. Up the inside we go. We pick up a very silly warning there, but regardless, we make the position and we're up into P11. You can see the Ferrari with 16 seconds of penalties, which is crazy work in a 12-lap race. So, points are on the cards. And we skip to the final lap of the sprint race. I'm trying my best to make sure that both races are condensed as much as possible to make sure this video isn't too long. But now we're looking to put pressure onto Finna Spinoda in the Haas for IRT. Up the inside we go into turn number 3. You can see we're flicking the brakes because I was trying to get DRS onto on the exit of turn number 3, but he's got DRS. But we're using the battery, and it looks like our wings are quite low, and it seems to have worked a treat for us as we cover the middle of the track into turn number 4. And we're up into P10 on the final lap of the Grand Prix. It won't mean too much because he doesn't have a penalty himself, so we need to start hoping that he gets a penalty in the next couple of corners. Otherwise, we'll have to settle for a point. Meanwhile, there was a lot of fighting going on at the head of the field, but the sprint race has been won by Sergio and ET8, getting a 1-2, I believe. So a great result for them, and meanwhile, we're going to get a point from 16th place.
That is P10. Nah, that's alright, man. You couldn't do anything. You kept on getting. You got shafted from the first corner.
So there you go, sprint race in the bag. We didn't do a great job qualifying wise, but we do manage to make the overcut work. And the carnage around us, that definitely helped as well. And we managed to grab ourselves a point in 10th place. So that's giving me a little bit of confidence going into the main qualifying session here, Austria Reverse. We've done this track before in EOR and it didn't go too well for me or Samir. So we're hoping to do a little bit better. There's a bit, not too much more practice compared to EOR, but we're going to see how we get on. This lap has not been very good and we get this the next lap invalidated and it's a 4.1, so absolutely nothing to write home about at the start of qualifying, and we're going to go back to the pits and see if we can try again.
Time to just shit the bed of one lap. Honestly, my laps before were absolutely fine, but mate, it's not even valid. Probably. Oh my god.
And as you can see, we've absolutely binned it in the worst crash I've probably ever had in the entire time I've had this channel. You can just see my reaction. It just says everything about it. And we're going to start last. It's a question mark challenge for this race, which is not what you want. My teammate is in the top 10. And we're going to try a two-stop to try and get ourselves up the order. But we've got nothing to lose, so let's get into it.
A random expectation.
Well, with the red lights rising over the Red Bull Ring and the grid is set the wrong way in Austria, the charge begins in reverse. No more waiting. Let's go racing here in Austria. And then, of course, you've got this battle here with Ventaris Thomas, who's going to want to work with Max von der Gies going into turn number 1. It's a long sweeping left-hander between the pair of them. We've got to have plenty of people going off of the circuit initially here, but Thomas holding on here from Max von der Gies. Vantari doing a really good job to hold on for their battle for P1 and P2. We've got plenty of battle happening here side by side. AMR and the team of IRT will go here with Vanna Spinoda and Ivan Eskrig. Ivan Eskrig electing not to put too much pressure on Vanna Spinoda. He then promotes himself up to P7 as a result. Jeroen is up to P6 here, but a great effort from the ET8 team. They're 3 and 4 respectively. A mistake here from Dirk here and are going through that top of the hill, and that's going to allow Sergio to go side by side. This is a strong...
So we are underway and in the middle of the opening lap of the race. We haven't really made any progress until we get into the hairpin of turn number 8 up the inside of IRT Fielder in the sister Haas, well down the order on the hard tyre. So we're looking to see if we can pass him immediately, because the mediums are going to be the faster tyre, and you can see there, by the time we get to the final corner, he backs out of it, and we have gained 2 places on the opening lap. Not quite as many as the sprint. People are actually a bit more behaved on this occasion, but we're going to try and keep making progress. Sam Barker was in the heart of many collisions and shenanigans in the sprint race. We're looking to have a go at the inside.
Yep, Sam, you've just turned in on me there, man.
And it doesn't quite work. We have a bit of contact and we get put in a half spin, which doesn't make me a very happy man. You can see now we're ghosting with Phil, and I'm really reluctant to let him go here. And we do get him on the brakes through the final corner, and we do stay ahead. But I will tell you now, it is very difficult to overtake around Austria reverse. It's hard to overtake on this game in general, but this place doesn't promote too many overtaking opportunities, and the only way you can do that is if you manage to draw side by side with someone, or you're on the DRS straight, as we are here going into the final corner, trying to put a move on Sam Barker for P16 in this race. I don't know what's happened to someone behind us. I think a Ferrari got damaged, and you can see we're still trying to put the pressure on Mr. Barker going into turn number 1. And we don't quite manage to get anything done, but he does make a mistake. And that is the first penalty of the race for Sam Barker, who joined FRT a long time ago, apparently. So, cheers for leaving, as Monza is in the pits on lap number 6, and so is Sam Barker. So, that's going to really force our hand, because you can see the gap between myself and the car in front, Ollie, is about 1.6 seconds. Now, in order to close this gap down and potentially jump ahead of the Kickstarter, we need to box on this lap to make sure we get an undercut and stay with the train of cars in front of us, because we're literally fighting for the low end of the points in this one. As you can see, Ollie's had a bit of a moment with Lawrence, who was causing a lot of shenanigans in the sprint race. We go up the inside through this double right-hander, and we get the job done up into P13. That's a crucial position in the context of this race, because I imagine we're both going to pit on the same lap in order to get an undercut on the cars ahead. So a big move being made from us there, taking advantage of some contact up ahead, and we're going to box on lap number 7 for our first of 2 pit stops in this race. And we're going to go onto the hard tyre, so the rest of this race is going to be pushing as much as we can on the hard compound tyre, as that is the better race tyre to be on this track. So onto the hards we go, and we're going to see where we rejoin. We've got Lawrence just in front of us. You can see Monza's gone through, and so has Sam, who pitted a lap before us. It's going to be quite close with me and the McLaren, as he just gets across us there as we rejoin onto the track. Very dangerous pit exit there, as you fill in right into turn number 2, where people are carrying quite a lot of speed. We get away with it, and we can press on. So now we're caught up to Lawrence up ahead, and you can see Spinoda, who we were close with in the sprint race momentarily, is right behind us as well. So I think we managed to get the undercut on him, and he did have a go at turn number 1, but nothing is going to quite do there, as it's really hard to overtake at turn 1. as it is a very narrow left-hander, which doesn't really lead to much. You can see he's gone up the inside at this hairpin, and we've just let him go there because what we want is basically to stay in a train, and if there's any opportunities up ahead, we'll take them with both hands. As on to lap number 12, there's side-by-side action going on between Lawrence and Sam for position, and this is for track position as well. Sam has got a little bit wide, and that opens the door for Spinoda in the Haas to try and go round the outside of them. Trying to go round the outside, and it looks like Sam Barker was trying to defend on the outside. Doesn't quite work out for him, and Spinoda makes the place, and he's up into P13. We're up into P15 as we're ahead of EVR Misha, who I think pitted just a lap or two ago. So the only problem with our strategy is we are going to be on tyres that are going to be quite a few laps older than everyone else. It's on to the end of lap number 12. You can see Lawrence is now fighting with Spinoda, and they've both got off the track at the last corner. That opens the door for Sam to go through. We're trying to get past Lawrence. We're trying to find a way past Spinoda as well. Going into turn number 1. Not quite getting the inside line there. And we go drifting around the first 2 corners. And it was a close call, but we do get ahead of Lawrence. And we are in the points. Into P14 we go. So all isn't lost in this race. Gaining 6 positions in the first third of the Grand Prix isn't too bad, considering you can't really overtake. But that's what I mean. The only way we can make moves is taking chances of mistakes from other people.
Who's that car?
And that's going to be a key factor towards this race. You can see on lap number 14, we do have an RB of, I think, Sheep there having...
Oh, in a bit, Sam.
Sheep spun out earlier thanks to a puncture, and Sam Barker's had a huge spin at the final corner, and finally we're ahead of him. Up into P11 we go, and Sheep was on a one-stop strategy, so the race leaders might have to think about tyres in the next few laps or so before they blow up, but we're 1 place off the points, off the top 10.
Oh, that's a double warning if I've ever seen one. Surely we can get that removed, no?
But that's not ideal. A 3-second penalty is not going to help our case as we tried to get another top 10 finish today. And it turns out that was a double warning because I was on 1 warning for most of this race. And that was the first warning since about the early stages of the Grand Prix. So, yeah, double warnings coming to bite us here. We're going to have to make sure we get to the end of the race without any more warnings. Otherwise, we can't get this penalty removed. And you can see we've let Misha go as we think that he's the best chance of keeping up with Spinoda in front, but that's not exactly the case. As we move on to lap 16, you can see the other RB has just come out of the pits, and Misha's looking to pass him. Quantum's right on our gearbox as well. He didn't qualify too well either, and once again we are in close contact with the FRT driver, and I don't think he'll be too happy seeing us, considering that he is trying to push his way up the order in this Grand Prix. So at this point, I'm starting to feel the tyres going off a little bit. They're not feeling at their best. And I am thinking about a second pit stop. It's a big scrap going on where we are, as P10 is just up the road. But Ivan is in a different race to us, as he's just come out of the pits. As you can see, Quantum goes up the inside into the hairpin. We're going to try and keep ourselves alongside, but we don't exactly get the space given. But Quantum had the position there, and he's up into P12. We're down to 13th, and unfortunately, it doesn't really seem that we're going to make any more progress. As you can see now, Jens Jerome has just come out of the pit. Quantum gets through, crucially, and the CSI man's going to have to warm up his tyres in dirty air, so that's not ideal for him, as he's also on a one-stop. CSI, definitely the best team in world at the moment in the current landscape of top-level racing on console. There seems they've got everything down to a T, and drivers in really good form as well. But unfortunately for us, we're going to lose the train with these guys, and that is not ideal at this stage. Lap 19, you can see we're just over a second away from Quantum. We have to let Ollie go now because I'm struggling on my tyres now. We've been on these tyres since lap 7, and it is definitely playing its toll, as everyone else is passing us quite easily. Now we've got IRT Phil, who pitted on lap 11, right on our gearbox.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Man, I'm just struggling on my tyres, man.
And we get absolutely rinsed. We got absolutely rinsed there. a complete fake move under braking has got Phil ahead of us. And I am finding myself getting rinsed quite a lot in these races. And it is quite annoying. My racecraft ain't that bad, but clearly we're getting mugged off. You can see Spinoda's pitted on lap 20. And we carried on to lap 21. And I was really regretting that decision. I was thinking lap 20 was the lap, but I was wondering when my teammate was going to pit up ahead, because Monza is fighting for a top 10 position. In fairness to him, that's what you get when you qualify well in World. You can actually fight for good positions compared to us. So, I mean, I've got that in mind. I'm just wondering when he's going to pit, because that in turn will affect us. So, lap 21, you can see we're coming to the end of the lap. I was wanting to pit, but he's in the pits. And that means we're going to have to do another lap, because I don't really want to double stack. And that is not exactly going to help us, because we're losing time to the cars in front.
Last lap. I would have loved to box this one.
And that's me telling Samir, I wish you told me when you boxed, because I assumed he was going to box early again to get an undercut on those around him. So we're going to have to do another lap. I think this stint was way too long. Maybe 2 laps too long. So by the time we pit, we're in P10, but...
Yeah, Samir, I wish you told me which lap you were going to box. I would have loved to box up 20 or something. Nah, it's all good. It's fine.
We're going to be quite a way off everyone else who have pitted earlier. And we won't have track position anymore. And you can hear me say to Samir, I wish you told me what lap you were going to pit, because the car in front normally gets the first pit stop out of the 2 cars running an F1 normally. So that's probably, we apply that as well into these team races. So yeah, it would have been nice to be told what lap he was going to pit, but we're going to have to press on. We're out in P16. We're not in the points anymore. And now Sam Barker smells blood in the water as we've just come out of the pits. We're trying to fend him off through the middle sector, but he's going for the inside line here.
Piss off, Sam, man. What are you doing?
Well, I'll tell you what he's done. He's just shoved us out of the way. Thanks very much. Don't know what kind of gap he was going for there, but he shoved his way through. You can see he's got more penalties than ourselves, so I don't know what he's done that for. And unfortunately, we don't make too much progress on this stint. Lap 28, still not in the points. And I was asking my engineer, what position are we actually going to be fighting for in this race? Because I wasn't too sure what I was going to get out of it, because that second pit stop really hasn't served us well. You can see Phil on the mediums doing the opposite strategy to us, moving up the order as he looks to try and make a late push for any points that he can grab for IRT. So we're down to P17, and my engineer was telling me that there's a huge scrap in front, but it's only for P14, which is a white lie, because you can see there's a good 5, 6, 7 cars in front of me, which means that P10 is just up the road. We just need to put these places together and make our chances count, and we could find ourselves in a very handsome position despite starting last.
What position is that McLaren in?
Lap 29. Just 7.5 laps to go. Phil is making moves on the mediums, as you'd expect. Up the inside he goes into the hairpin. Sam is trying to hang on as he does keep it round the outside, but Phil emerges in front with so much better traction out of the corner, and he's up into P15. So Phil in the points in this race. Sam Barker isn't really going to get much out of it. And on to lap number 30. We're going to try and put pressure again down this main straight.
Oh, the McLaren in front of the train.
And it just seems that we're not really close enough to do anything, as Phil is trying to make more moves, as he was trying to go side by side through turns 1 and 2. Nothing quite doing there, as we do have White Sheep, who is falling down the order. He is on very old hard tyres, as I think he was on a one-stop strategy, so he's on much older tyres than us, and he's dropping like a stone, and we're looking to try and get our move done up the inside.
Oh my god, stop locking with me, man.
And the move doesn't work. I don't think I left him enough space there, which is quite poor from me, and we don't get the job done, and now everyone else is going to pull away just that little bit more, and I wasn't too happy. You can hear me just briefly say about asking about the McLaren in front of this train, because if you can see on the minimap, there's quite a battle going on, and my engineer was telling me that it's only for P14. I don't know how, when there's several cars in front. We just about get this move done on White Sheep. Bit scruffy, but we've got it done anyway, and we're up into P16. we're really not making the progress we really need to on this stint. Only 6 laps to go, and we're still not in the points at this point in time. So it is a bit frustrating. As you can see now, VNT Thomas is going side by side with Sam, going through turn number 1, and he fends him off through turn 2. He's had an awful weekend here. He was on pole position. He had a collision with Samir, which is being investigated by the stewards, and he got damaged going into the pit lane, making his second pit stop. So he's made a flurry of mistakes which have thrown him down the order, and he's also been dropping like a stone as well, because he's got front wing damage, which he didn't change in the pits, as Sam, trying to go around the outside, goes off the circuit, hits the wall in the process, and Thomas really not giving a damn. He just wants to fight for pride at this point, even though it's a P14 on track. Sam tries around the outside again, has a huge wiggle out of the hairpin, and Thomas still in front, and this is great scrapping, but it's letting the other cars in front get away, and that might end our chances of a potential top 10. Sam goes off the track again, and they're not going to have DRS down this main straight, so finally we're going to pounce and get through the both of them to move into the points and to move into P14 in this race. So we are going to get 2 championship points for QRT, and including however many Samir can get with a few laps to go. However, this is where our race ends. You can see we're 2 seconds behind Ollie and Misha, and that gap just grows. We made a mistake in between the laps which cost me another 3 seconds, but we were 2 seconds behind, and with that we weren't really able to catch. So it is going to be P14 in this race, and it's going to be 3 points overall in this sprint weekend.
Well, considering I finished last, I got 2 points on that.
And there you go. We, despite starting last, we did manage to make up 6 places and score 2 points. We scored 3 points overall from very unfavourable positions. So obviously qualifying is the main weakness for me in these games. I've been struggling with it for the last year and a half, but yeah, we did get P14 in the end. These are very provisional results. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get P10. There was a lot of battling near the end, and I definitely think we could have stuck with these guys. You know, the likes of Quantum, Phil, Misha. I think we definitely could have got a bit more out of that last stint. And the timing of the second stop really didn't do us any favours. We were, I think, a bit too far back. And yeah, we just lost a bit too much time battling with Thomas, who's had an absolute mare there. But yeah, pretty decent. It wasn't as bad as Qatar, which is quite nice to say. And we do pick up some points for the team, which is good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Be sure to hit the like button, get subscribed for more content. And until then, take care. And I'll see all of you
I'm not sure.
in the next one.
You streamed it?